What is up, everybody? This is Lyle with No Hippie Barbecue. So we're going a little bit Mediterranean, Middle Eastern with tonight's dinner. So I figured I might as well break out some of this marinade that was sent to me by a company by the name of Sabauce and do some beef skewers, beef kebabs. Anyway, if you don't know about Sabauce Marinade, I'm telling you, you gotta get up on it. I've cooked with this a few times. I just don't know how to. I really just can't explain it, but it does have a nice Middle Eastern flavor. I'm telling you, this stuff is all that. And when they send it out to you, they will send it to you not only with the marinating bag, the lime, but they also have some instructions in here. You know, a few, just some instructions, and they have a seasoning pack that comes with it as well. We're probably not going to be using the seasoning pack in this recipe. We're going to keep it pretty straightforward. Now, for our beef skewers, what I'm going to be using is a chuck roast, and we're going to have a chance to let this marinate for about 7 to 8 hours. It's a little snowy outside, but you know what? I'm still going to get out there on one of my grills instead of doing it indoors. So really, our first step is just to cut this up into slices. I have this chuck roast partially thawed just to make it easier. And we're not going to be doing the big cubes. We're going to cut them in strips. So let's get started with that. And about this thin is what we're looking for right there. And any fat that we need to get off, we can cut that off once we're done cutting these into our strips. So I have a chance to let this marinate for between 6 to 8 hours, probably closer to 8 hours. And one thing I do know about this marinade is you do not need to have it go overnight. 4 or 5 hours is typically enough on this. It really does get in on this meat, trust me on that. So I'm gonna pour it in a little bit at a time. I just don't want to use too much of this because this stuff is that good. I want to keep it around. Use it for some other recipes. Now that this has had a chance to marinate for a while, we're gonna go ahead and skewer these up. And really all I'm gonna do is we're gonna kind of go in from the back, and we're just gonna kind of do a little zigzag pattern like so, but we are going to squish them all the way down. I do have some onions, but I'm going to cook those on the side. So here's what we're looking like. I'm just going to go ahead and skewer this whole thing up, but that is what it is going to look like right there. Let's go ahead and do one more right quick. Alright, I'm going to go ahead and finish these up, and I'll meet you out at the grill. So now that we have our grill up to temperature and our grill grates cleaned off, what we're going to do is just go ahead and throw our skewers on. And I'm going to be doing these away from the flame at first just to get them cooked, and then we'll sear them off. Possibly, it just depends on how they look at the end. Now these skewers have been on for about 7-8 minutes. I'm just going to go ahead and flip them just to ensure that they cook evenly, and they're not developing the color or anything like that that I'm looking for. So like I said, if they don't get the color we want, we will go ahead and sear them off at the end. I did go ahead and throw some onions just in a little basket just to have those on the side as well. So these have been on about another 5 minutes. I'm just going to start throwing these directly over the coals and start grilling them off. And I probably won't be able to fit all of them, so I'll do 2 at a time. So these have been on a couple minutes. I'm just looking to get a light char on it, so let's go ahead and flip them. And here's a little view for you guys that don't live in states where there's snow. So these have been on another couple of minutes. I'm just going to throw them off to the side, let those kind of cook a little indirect. And we'll get the other 2 on. And when these are done, we're just going to go inside, kind of plate up. This is what these beef skewers look like coming right off the grill. Now, we did go ahead and make some homemade hummus, some tzatziki sauce. My wife made some, what's this stuff called? Tabouli. We have some pita bread. I'm going to plate this up real quick, make it look good, and then we're going to get down to this taste test. So that's what it looks like all plated up. I'm going to tell you, that Sabauce put some color on this. If I haven't mentioned it earlier in the video, link to where you can buy that marinade is going to be in the description below. Trust me, that is some good stuff. Now, I have my plate all looking good with all the accoutrements, or whatever you want to call those things. We're going to get into it. Now, I'm not going to make the pita on camera, but I will be doing that as soon as I'm done with this taste test. But let's get in. Alright. I think I will go ahead and dip this in some of my hummus that I made. Actually, you know what? I'm not going to make the pita, but I'm going to add some of this on here. One thing I did mention earlier, I did make a little yellow rice with this as well. Let's get in. You cannot go wrong with this. It's even going to be better when I break out these pitas and get all in on it. Before I do that, I want to thank you guys for stopping by No Hippie Barbecue. I do appreciate it. Comment, subscribe, and I'm out.